What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fastenal Winter Series here on V-Speed Racing Network, provided by Fastenal, Simwrap Market, MPI, and Martin Sports. Glad to have y'all here tonight for the playoff cutoff race, the last race of the ARCA car. And we're going to be doing it at the championship spot for the Cup Series in real life, Phoenix Raceway. Glad to have y'all here. Excited to be back in the booth tonight. Got the old guard. Got Dakota Wilson sitting next to me in the booth along with Chuck Phelps, both doing color commentary. Glad to have both of them tonight. Guys, what are we feeling about this race tonight? Dakota, tell me something about Phoenix, the cutoff race. What are you expecting to see here tonight?
And there's one reason to come to Phoenix, and that's the dog leg. I mean, you'll probably see these boys fan out, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 wide. It's definitely going to be one of the good things to keep in your playbook, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to go all the way to the bottom of that dog leg.
Chuck, we've got playoffs looming up at the start of the year. We're going to take a nice long break after this, but this is the cutoff race. So talk to me about these playoff standings. We'll actually pull those up. What are you thinking about how everything is looking right now?
Well, of course, we have the top 3 that are locked, but after that, you can see Charlie Stevens has creeped up on Craig Lautenslager. Eric Schaefer's only a point behind him. Harlow's behind him by a point. And even then, down to Adam Lancaster, who's not here tonight, it's not too far away. I mean, it's a tight battle. Then you go to that cutoff line. You got Parker Bland, Cody Kinsey just one behind Parker Bland. And then it starts to drop off a bit. I think those guys need a win, but the whole field it's still pretty tight. A point or two or a place or two below that cutoff line. And to piggyback on Dakota, that dog leg could be a factor tonight. How they spread out.
Well, it is going to be tough. I mean, right there you see Cody Kinsey, Parker Bland, like you said, and then the 3 down at the bottom. I mean, they're going to have to win, like you said, and I think it's been a tight points battle. I think it's only going to continue to get tighter as we move on. But you see that those are the drivers that are out in that red box, so got a lot to think about. Take a look at the track here, Dakota. Tell me a little bit about Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, it's located in Avondale, Arizona. It was originally opened in 1964 with a capacity of 42,000. It's had a bunch of different configurations, but this one we're racing tonight with that big wide open dog leg, that's the most exciting one, and it's a mile in length.
Yeah, the track is sort of odd. I love the old layout, but this new one's kind of weird. Just the way that it drives, turn 4 being in where turn 1 used to be. It's just an odd situation, but they want those exciting finishes. And, I don't know. Y'all, the jury's out on whether or not we get exciting finishes at this racetrack. But it's a good-looking track, and I think they do a good job of, obviously, it being the championship race. I mean, they really upgraded it, made it look a lot newer than it was before they changed it up. So a lot of things that were changed I think were good for the fan experience, but the racing hasn't really made it up there yet. So we'll see if, in real life that changes. But tonight, looking to see if anybody can really set themselves apart at a track like this. Phoenix, nowadays in 3 and 4, which feels like 1 and 2, you really have to get on the binders to get slow, get down onto the bottom line, and get a good run off, and then the decision, like y'all said, go down to the dog leg, stay up on the track. And I think we'll see some incidents tonight where guys just not communicating or not the spotter not letting them know where everybody's at. And it's hard to know. I mean, a car low, but how low? If he's 5 lanes below you, or is he 1 lane below? You don't know. So you have to really be paying attention. And sometimes guys are going to choose wrong, and we're going to see some contact there for sure.
Eddie, if I may, let me piggyback on that, if I may. It's not just listening to your spotter. I feel drivers need to be aware of who they are around, and meaning by that I mean know the tendency of who you're around. Don't assume that the guy inside of you is going to cut the dog leg. I've been a victim of that. I've wrapped the line but not cut the dog leg, and the guy on the outside of me has actually doored me, assuming I was going to cut it when I was not. So I think drivers inside or outside need to be aware of the tendencies of who they are around, not just the track itself, but the drivers that you're around and what their characteristics are.
Yep, that's for sure. Well, let's take a look at the car. Of course, we've been doing the ARCA Menards, not the Gen 4. This is the old ARCA car, which 650 horsepower, plenty. And it's got the 4-gear age pattern, rear-wheel drive as always. A little bit lighter, I think, than the Gen 4 car, 3,300 pounds. And it races in the ARCA Menards series in iRacing. So, I mean, this is just a fun car, well-balanced car. Not too much horsepower. The Gen 4 can be pretty tough on the throttle, but this, I think it just offers some really balanced racing. And it's probably one of my favorite of all time. So looking forward to seeing how this track really ends up. Let's take a look at who we got on cams tonight. Well, we got Matthew Jorgensen, we got Johnny Shea, we got Chris Progar, a little race control view here on the top right. You got Richard Swavely, Parker there in the middle. And then you got Charles Stevens and Alex Coffey. We got him back on the cams tonight. And, of course, along with Josh Lokovitz there in the middle alongside Parker. So looking forward to seeing what these guys can do as we're already gridding here, getting ready to go green. And let's take a look at your race analysis here. We'll actually jump right into the grid. I think that's probably be the best thing we should do right here. But let's go ahead and do that. Starting on the front row, going to be Alex Coffey in his return, as Blaine Wilson going to start on the outside of him. Jonathan Cofield going to start third. Craig Lautenschlager, the crazy points leader, starting in fourth. Love to get that win tonight, though. Charles Stevens Jr. in fifth. Kyle Benson in sixth. Seventh going to be Eric Schaefer. Shane Wyatt going to round out the top 8. Ninth going to be Jesse Necula. Wow, glad to see him back. Steven Stippian in the top 10 spot. Johnny Shade in 11th. Matthew Jorgensen in 12th. 13th, Christopher Bishop. Barry Knapp in 14th. He needed to be here tonight to be able to even have a shot, so let's see what he can do here tonight. Alex Huffman going to be in the 15th spot. Josh Lokovitz in 16th. 17th, Parker Bland. Richard Swavely in the 18th spot. Timothy Stubbfield, Stub Nation, rise up. Cody Kinsey going to round out your top 20. Race analysis. ARCA Menards Chevrolet, we already talked about it. Fixed setup, 100 laps, and we're getting ready to go green as they're going to go down the back straightaway. Total tire sets for no fast repair. And we have 100 laps here tonight in the Fastenal Winter Series. It's going to be a great, great race. I just can't wait. They go down the back stretch. And Barney's got the green flag in hand, and green flag is out here in the Fastenal Winter Series at Phoenix. Well, all right, boys, first lap in the books, and you see they're spread out everywhere. We need a camera that can kind of bump. Let's go to the blimp cam. That's the best one to be able to see as they go through the dog leg, but you can see a lot of guys fighting for position. Alex Coffey, Jonathan Cofield out early with Blaine Wilson there behind him. And, man, already. Guys, as somebody makes contact back here, the 70 gets a little help from, I think, Steven Stippian, as they almost go around, but he's able to keep it wound up there. But already guys making moves. Jonathan Cofield looking down to the inside of Alex Coffey and gonna take that position. Long. Go ahead, Chuck. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it didn't take them long. Initial start, they have to wait till the start finish line, so they went around inside the track limits. But then lap number 2, yeah, they spread out right away.
Alex Coffey gonna fall back to that second position. Glad to see him back in the show. And Dakota, tell me a little bit about Alex. Tell me your thoughts about him and your thoughts. I mean, he's obviously was strong early on in the short track stuff, but here at the end, it seems to be pretty strong. Just had a couple of issues, some health issues he had to work out. But what do you think? He's got an opportunity to win this championship?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think he's probably one of the hands-on favorite to win this. I think he come out and won one of the opening races of this whole winter series, and like you said, he did have surgery, and even with having surgery, he made start and park efforts, and that says a lot to the kind of person he is. Just never back down, never quit mentality there, and he's definitely one of the ones you're going to have to watch out for in that championship chase.
As I fiddle around with stuff on the broadcast, that's real professional. Right now, though, he is falling back, and man, look, I mean, my God. I tell you who ain't here to play is Jonathan Cofield, who has a now 1.1 second lead over the rest of the field. You can see them all back there fighting, and Cofield just pulling away.
Yeah, it looks like Alex might be trying to conserve a little bit of tires, hoping for a long run here.
Yeah, and it seems like in this particular car, I mean, it stays pretty balanced, but still, I mean, any track, especially with a fixed setup, the right front's always your major concern. So if you can save it, you that's the best you could do. But I don't know. If you lose track of Jonathan Cofield, you may never see him again. I think Shane Wyatt starts to kind of feel the heat as he goes to go down to the inside of Alex Coffey and try to make the pass goes all the way down to the bottom of the dog leg. And the dog leg is really, it gains you just a little bit. It's not as much as it seems, but you do gain a little bit of time. The problem is you get a weird entry into 1 and 2. And we'll see if Shane goes down on board with Shane Wyatt here. See if he uses the dog leg this time. I don't think he will. Stay on track. But I know he's going to. See right here and just watch. You really have to jump up to the outside at the wall, and you have to take just an odd angle going down into the corner. And if you go back and forth, if you use the dog leg, then come back and use the track itself, it just seems like it can throw you off your rhythm if you're not careful. I think maybe Craig Lautenschlager may have had some sort of issue. He dropped back a couple spots.
Well, the odd angle that you're speaking about too, Eddie, that puts a lot of stress on that right front because of the odd angle. So it may be beneficial on the time gain, but lap after lap, you may be losing more on the tire wear. So it's a risk versus reward choice that the drivers have to manage.
Well, and Alex continues to lose spots. He's going to lose a spot here to Kyle Benson. You wonder how, if what he had, his surgery he had done is affecting him maybe a little bit. That's definitely possible. We're glad to see him racing. He obviously was able to lay down a pretty dang fast lap to get out front. But definitely struggling right there. He's going to lose another spot. Eric Schaefer going to go around him on the outside. So definitely, I don't think this is definitely not Alex Coffey 100%. I think this is him really struggling to get back into this thing. But we won't harp on it too much. He's still doing a good job and definitely losing spots very, very quickly here. Up front, though, Jonathan Cofield, 27.6 last time, but Shane Wyatt, 27.5. So last time by, Shane Wyatt was the fastest car on the track. So look out, Shane Wyatt fans. He's coming. This is a cutoff race. Usually Simrap Market sponsors these. I'm not sure. I don't know if they are or not, but we definitely happy to have them as a sponsor on board this season. But wouldn't this be a great race to win with Simrap Market on your car than here at Phoenix, the last race of the Arca Menards Chevrolet?
To our viewers as well, this is a daylight transition race, meaning it's starting in dusk. It will transition into night. So the track temp and the grip level of the track could change or will change as well. So that's another dynamic we need to look forward to as this race progresses.
What's the track temp right now, Chuck? Do you know?
It is 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 2-mile-per-hour wind out of the north and 32% relative humidity.
All right, well, there you have it. Well, as we watch these two start to pull away, Shane has been trying to keep Cofield in range, but you see there, Wyatt about 2 seconds back. So, I mean, Cofield has come prepared in this particular race. But we'll go back here to the top 5 or so. We'll actually go back to Parker Bland, who is here in the 12th position. Parker on that bubble, trying to make it into the championship. This is the cutoff race, so Parker got some work to do here, has already, though, made up a ton of spots, 17th to 12th, Dakota.
Yeah, Parker is quite the enigma, extremely talented, get a little crazy at times, but, Parker always finds her way up to the front, and it's going to be exciting to see if she can make it, into the championship playoffs.
Yeah, doing good right now. Running some pretty competitive lap times, but, as we know, when you get to this series, I mean, you see there's a lot of cars, but you see sliding those front tires, that can be detrimental. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, getting down into turn 4. You got to really slow up. But a lot of cars in front of Parker to try to make up some time. Actually using the apron a little bit here. I like that. Trying to get this car to turn and make up those spots. Just 3 points out of the playoffs. But so far so good. 5 spots moving up.
Yeah, really impressed thus far. They were 20 laps in, going to 21. There's some good racing throughout the field. Everybody's been clean. In respect to everybody in this field, good clean racing on a difficult track.
Yeah, so far so good. 20 laps in over green. This is going to be over in a heartbeat. This thing is flying by quickly as we watch Jesse Nekula try to run down Charles Stevens. Got Alex Huffman there, the Summer Series Xfinity champion. Right behind him, Huffman up 4 spots. So good to see Nekula back in the field tonight. He's always a really fast racer, good driver. So we've been missing him. Glad to see him back. He dropped the spot from where he started. But trying to find a little. It seems like it's kind of hard to pass. Everybody is sort of running in each other's tire tracks. And then right up front, as soon as I say that, Blaine Wilson looking to the inside of Craig Lautenschlager. There are guys that are locked into the playoffs, but Craig has been the most consistent all season long. Last week came out of nowhere and was right up in the top 5, and where did he come from? And he just seems to be doing that every single week. So maybe a little bit Kevin Harvick-like. I think Dakota talked about that last week, where it's just a grinder, stays out of trouble the best that he can.
The closer.
Yeah, the closer, for sure. But that's why he's the points leader. I mean, he is just had a really incredible season. Looking forward to the playoffs and interested to see how deep he can go into the playoffs. Just still needs that win. That's the thing that is sort of the black mark on this season. Yeah, he is going to be, he's got the opportunity to be the regular season champion, but, with this type of format, you need to be able to win. He's going to throw a block here on Blaine Wilson, trying to maintain that position, but it seems like it's really important that you win a race. You've got to get some wins, especially here in the playoffs. So I know he's looking forward to doing that tonight if he can. Currently running in 7th. And lost about 3 spots where he started.
Well, don't forget the track is definitely going to change as we transition from dusk to nighttime. Field should not be an issue. I believe the field window is 83 laps-ish, give or take. but it's going to come down to tires. Are people going halfway? Are they going to go and wait for a caution? I think that's what the decision is going to be. Everybody's going to have to stop, but we'll see when people start to go down for tires.
Yep, I think you're right. Well, Eric Schaefer going to go around Kyle Benson, and now Benson under fire from Steven Stempien, who is he jumped out of the booth and jumped in the car this week, and you know, I expected to see him move up to the front quickly, and he has. He is 6 positions up from where he started. But I expected him to be knocking on the door of the lead before too long, but that just hasn't been the case. And honestly, nobody's knocking on the door for the lead because Cofield has now extended his lead out to 2.4 seconds. And, you know, I think that's what great drivers do. And if you're looking for, you know, those to you know, kind of mark as your championship hopefuls, I think Cofield's kind of showing why he should be one of those. As I mean, he came prepared tonight. Obviously, just completely outclassed the field. Only 28 laps in, and he is gone. I mean, he's pretty much lost contact with Shane Wyatt and the rest of the field. Shane's got about an 0.8 of a second lead over Eric Schaefer, and Eric Schaefer fighting for his life, trying to get away from Benson and Stempien. But yeah, it's go ahead, Dakota.
I say it's definitely an interesting scenario because Jonathan Cofield and Shane White, they're actually teammates, and they are gunning for the regular season champion, which it awards 5 playoff points. So you know, there's bragging rights on the line. There's playoff points on the line. It's definitely a pressure cooker situation in that camp.
Yeah, those 5 bonus points has proven to be, really, really important to get you from round to round. I mean, ask Martin Truex Jr. about how important that is. I mean, he was definitely not a playoff driver towards the end of the season, but just got sort of a couple free rides into the next round, having pretty mediocre races. So it can get you pretty far, and at every point it makes a huge difference. So it's a lot on the line, even though these guys are all pretty much locked into the playoffs for the most part. Very few people can fall out. Very few people can jump in. There's still a lot to race for up front.
Well, I think what Cofield is really good at, too, is understanding the dynamics of a track or a setup. Meaning, sometimes you can be holding back at the beginning and then reel them in at the end of a tire run. Other times, it doesn't matter because the tires equalize. I think it's understanding what the tires are going to do on the dynamic of the track that you're actually on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And this race comes after the dynamic track update. So, you know, we're in kind of new territory about, you know, how these cars are going to drive over the long run, how rubber gets laid down. You know, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about this update and really what it's going to do. So it's interesting to see how this place is going to play out, like you talked about earlier, with the transition from you know, sunset to night. How is that going to affect the track? Is somebody going to be able to find a little extra? Right now, Cofield definitely the fastest, most consistent at least, every single lap at hitting his marks. But as the track temp goes down, the grip level changes, you know, how does that affect him in a positive or maybe even a negative? So we'll see how that plays out through the end of this race. But, I mean, it looks like we're going to have one pit stop most likely, and you're not going to have a whole lot of time because we haven't had a caution yet. And, you know, the way these guys drive, it's possible that we don't get one until about one lap to go. Then we just have 3 green light checkers. Right,
exactly. I mean, there's a lot of talent. I mean, I give respect to everybody in the field. I mean, this is a good league, a good series, and we have relatively amazing non-chaotic races. We've had a few, especially with the cars that they weren't familiar with, but as we progress through the cars that they are familiar with, you just see the skill of everybody in the field.
Yeah, and Eric Schaefer showing off some of that skills. He's run down Shane White. Shane White had a bad lap last time by, about 0.5 off the pace, so he really had some sort of issue there, and he is going to drop 2 spots because of it. So Shane White in that 27, falling off quickly.
Stympian up to 5th.
Right now, though, Jonathan Cofield continues to be the fastest car on the track every single lap. Stympian actually was a little bit faster that time by. So Stympian has the speed, but is he going to have the time? Right now, he's 4.1 seconds off the lead, and you start to see the lights come on the track as the sun starts to set here in Phoenix, Arizona. And Shane Wyatt dropping spots quickly. Do you think this is some sort of strategy, or what do you think the problem is here, Dakota, that Shane is falling back so quickly here at the end of this run?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like, well, he's under attack from Alex Coffey right here. He might be saving a little bit, or he might be setting himself up to try to be the first one down pit road to try to get that early jump on Cofield, because anything you can do to get yourself ahead of him, it's going to be beneficial. But if I know one thing about Shane, he's going to keep his head down, and he's just going to grind it out. And that's probably why he's actually going to be my pick to win this race.
There you have it. Starting to slide back there. You see he's actually giving Greg Lautenschlager the outside to basically the same thing that Alex Coffey was doing earlier. Now, Alex Coffey has moved back forward. He's in the top 5. He had fallen back. So I think there's some games being played here. You know, part of me wonders if Shane maybe didn't run a little bit too hard to try to run down Cofield, is now paying for it. But we're starting to see some drivers move back forward who kind of fell back early, and Alex Coffey is one of them. He is right to the back bumper of Stympian, running a little bit faster than the leader last time by. So I think Alex knew exactly what he was doing. Look on board with Alex Coffey as he tries to look to the inside of Steven Stympian. You can see how patient he is being on the throttle. Really letting that car land into the corner real smooth, barely moving the steering wheel. And that's what you want to do if you're saving tire, trying to make it work on the long run. You don't want to turn that steering wheel. And you see he's using the brake bias. That tape staying right in the middle. That means he's using the brake on entry to get the car to rotate. And you see on exit doing the same thing. You keep those tires straight, that keeps them from wearing that right front off. And the real key is right here. I mean, this is the key corner. You can see he's a little bit lower than Stympian, slows down a little bit more, and that gives him a great run off the corner, and it's not so taxing on the tires. You can be fast running 2 different lines. If Stympian gets in the wall there, you can be fast running multiple lines. You could drive deep in the corner and have a fast lap, but how does that affect the next 20 laps? And that's always something to consider. This battle is sort of subsided at this point, and Kyle Benson now goes to the outside of Schaefer, going to get there going into turn 1 and 2.
You know, it's funny you mentioned about that steering input control and making the tires mad. You have 1 or 2 bad laps and make the tires angry, that can affect the tires for the next 5 or 10. So it's a bad ratio of making those tires angry for sure.
Well, Kyle has gotten it figured out. He's trying to work over Eric Schaefer, and they've been moving around. Eric Schaefer let Kyle get to the top there. Kyle really wasn't able to do anything with it just yet. Kyle continues to battle here, but it is a dogfight up here for second. You see Eric Schaefer drive really, really hard into 1 and 2, using that outside line to get the run off the corner. But Kyle using that bottom line. You see they're running real high, getting the arc off the corner, off of 4. This is all a battle for second. Your leader still now 4.3 seconds. Jonathan Cofield's started third, and he is just unbelievable at the moment. I mean, just in a completely different zip code. I mean, it's like he's qualifying out here, practicing by himself. I don't hear any cars. I mean, he's so far ahead. You could see Kyle Benson popping up in the background just for a second, but Cofield is just completely dominating this race. And, I mean, at this point, he's so far ahead, he can basically choose whenever he wants to come down pit road. He can wait a little bit longer. He can come. I mean, just having this big a lead offers you so much as far as kind of choices on what you want to do.
Exactly. That kind of puts it. Sometimes the leader is at the expense of the people behind them. But when you have this kind of lead, you can long pit, short pit, whatever, because of the buffer that you have on second place,
Yeah, and you can see just, I mean, there's no cars around him. I mean, it's just crazy. You hear him come by, and it's just one car. That's it. And the battle, though, is still back up here for second place. Man, what a great camera that is. You can almost see nothing. But here's the battle. This is for second place. Kyle Benson, Eric Schaefer, Steven Stempian. Stempian gets a little bit loose as Alex Coffey going to get a little bit of that wall there. So you can tell these drivers are driving hard at this point. They are not taking it easy. They're trying to take advantage, especially right now. We got people coming down pit road. Parker Bland going to bring that number 3 machine down pit road. 4 tires and fuel will be the call. And this is obviously, like y'all talked about, this is that pit strategy to get out front, make up some time, get on pit road early. Not that much fall off, about a second between your best lap and your the laps that they're on now. So it's not a bunch of fall off, but it can be enough to jump over. You saw there was a big group of cars in front of Parker, and this may be a good strategy to get out in front of them.
Right. Well, we just we're lap over halfway, but this is that buffer you were talking about, Eddie. So somebody short pitted the leader on another tighter time frame. That might pull Cofield down, but he's got a 4-second buffer that he can maybe go another lap or two and offset that fresh tire, old tire time span.
Jonathan Cofield's actually coming to the pits right now.
Oh, and Parker's going to spin. Half spin, no caution though. Woo. That was close as Parker almost spun out on those new tires, and that was almost disaster. Jonathan Cofield comes down pit road, gives up the lead. Now he definitely does not want to see a caution. Almost got one. That could have been disastrous for Jonathan Cofield. But gives up the lead, and that's got to pretty much bring everybody else into pit road. It's going to be tough. Steven Stempian will take over the lead, expecting to see these drivers come down pretty much at any point.
Yeah.
Craig came in.
Greg Lautenschlager down on pit road, 4 tires and fuel. And I don't know, are they General Tire or are they Goodyears now? Somebody told me that the update now might have changed them to Goodyear tires instead of the General Tire.
I got nothing on that, boss.
Well, they're getting 4 tires either way. We'll see. Maybe, nope, still looks like, let's say. I mean, this is good stuff, right? Great TV.
I think they're still General Tires.
They're still General? Okay. Yeah, somebody told me that they're going to be changing those to Goodyear soon, so that'll be cool. All right, anyway, wow, just worthless from me. Still battling for first, second, third as Steven Stempian and Alex Coffey, Blaine Wilson continues to stay out on track. You would imagine that they are likely going to come down soon, but this does give them, if the longer you run, I don't like this strategy. It never works out good for me, but these guys are a lot faster and better than I am, so I know they know what they're doing. But a lot of people like to run long. That way they come down and they have the advantage to be able to drive up through the field if they need to. So, I mean, this is obviously a strategy that a lot of people employ. And honestly, if a caution comes out, they will be in a great position. So, I don't know. The more and more I see people use this strategy, especially people that are really, really good like these 3, I start to wonder if that's not a strategy I might want to try more often, just run along.
Yeah, if you're like me, if I try to stay out, and I usually go past that threshold of, well, I might as well just stay out and either run out of gas or blow the tires off of it, because you get to that point where there's really no point in pitting.
Yeah, you have to make that call pretty early. You either come down with the leader, like a lot of these guys with Jonathan Cofield, Benson, Schaefer, Lautenschlager, and others. Oh, here comes Stippian down pit road. Really being aggressive there on entry. I love to see that. But yeah, I think, man, great camera angle. Yeah, I don't know. It's always a tough call because you just don't want to get caught by a caution, but you don't want to get jumped over. I don't know. I think Cofield had pretty much, he can make any decision that he wants, but I like this call to run a little bit long. Going to give Shane White the lead as everybody else comes down Stimpy and down pit road along with the others. Shane White, Alex Huffman. This feels like the Xfinity Series for sure now as Shane out front, Alex Huffman right behind him. You got Charles Stevens Jr. there in third, waiting to make his pit stop. So 61 laps on these tires, and now it's just a few drivers that have yet to come down. Alex Coffey, Blaine Wilson come down to make their stop. So when will we see Charles Stevens and the rest of these? About 7 drivers that have yet to come down pit road.
I'm curious what those tires are after 60-plus laps at Phoenix. As far as track analysis goes, Eddie, surprisingly, although it's still sort of dusk and not true night, the track temp is still actually 83.
And track pretty much stabilizing right where, and yeah, you know, honestly, I'm still looking at the lap times. And Charles Stevens on 63 lap old tires is running 28 4s. His best lap of the race is a 27 4. So only a second drop off. That's not a lot of tire wear. So, you know, really not much penalty to stay it out. So it's interesting to see that little fall off here at Phoenix.
I completely agree, especially at the configuration, because it's not a true tri-oval, quad oval. It's a unique style track. So, you know, the fact that the tire wear or the fall off is as little as it is it's actually pretty amazing. I agree with you, Eddie.
Well, it's still got a few drivers that haven't come down pit road. Shane White, Charles Stevens, Jesse Necula, and Matthew Jorgensen here in the 4th position. Having himself a great run, trying to catch a caution. Boy, if they caught a caution right now, it'd be good. It'd be good for these 4 drivers for sure. Cofield, Benson, Schaefer, they have unlapped themselves, and Steven Stimpian would be the lucky dog at the moment. So these guys just waiting for one of those cautions. Maybe one of those Parker Bland self-spin cautions that we have a lot. Maybe we'll get one of those. I know that's what these guys are hoping for. That would really work in their favor. But, I mean, at this point, they come down right at lap 70. Boy, those tires are going to be, you know, I mean, they'll be doing 27 lap times for a while, and a second a lap could make a big difference towards the end of the race, especially when you're trying to pass people that have burned their stuff up. So,
yeah, now the
down pit road.
Here's our caution. We got one, boys.
Caution is out.
Jorgensen with the heads-up play to get back off the pit road, too.
Yep, just seen that.
And I have no idea. Did y'all see who the caution was for?
I think it might be on Johnny Shade.
I have not found it.
go back and see if we can see what happened. And that was that caution that those guys needed. Go back here on a replay. And there you have it. Good call there, Dakota, as Johnny Shade spins coming off at turn number 4. And that brought out the caution. And for Shane Wyatt, Charles Stevens, Jesse Nekula, and Matthew Jorgensen, that is exactly what they needed. That played into their favor. And Dakota, you must be the magic man, because you picked Shane Wyatt to win this race. And now he's going to come down pit road. 4 Tires and Fuel's going to come off with the lead with about 30 laps to go, maybe 29, 28 when we go green. He's shown a lot of speed. Fell off towards the end of that run. But I don't know. You got to be feeling pretty dang good about your pick.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Shane, he's probably one of the most tenacious guys. I mean, look at last season in the Xfinity in the regular series. I mean, he run a whole race off of his cell phone hotspot, for heaven's sake. I mean, he just don't know what the word quit is. I mean, he's always heads down, and he's always going to find a way to get to the front.
Well, in racing, sometimes, as Matthew Jorgensen stayed out the first lap, a little lap lead maybe for Jorgensen, I'm not sure. But comes down now, and he will go back to about 9th position, so that point might be something that's important to him, because I think he'll beat the wave around drivers. So Jorgensen will give up the lead there, and so Shane Wyatt will take it over. But you can look right in front of Shane. Look at all of those wave around drivers. They're going to have to go around the pace car. And a couple drivers staying out that came down pit road a few laps ago that have not come down pit road. We'll see if they go down this time. Parker Bland, Josh Lokovitz, Barry Knapp, Christopher Bishop, Cody Kinsey all pitted 15-plus laps ago. Craig Lautenschlager in the same boat, so they will be at slight disadvantage. It's a tough call to decide, because if you go down pit road, you're going to end up at the back of the field. So that's going to be a very, very tough call. And also something to think about, we're going to get our first choose cone of the night, boys. Chuck, tell me, as quick as you possibly can in the short version, tell me about this new choose cone rule this week.
Okay, quick, short, and simple. Instead of going high and low before the line, they're coming down the middle, or should be coming down the middle at the line. And at the line, you make an obvious left or right turn. You go towards the wall, or you go towards the apron. That's it. That way, no perpendicular, no cutting the red, no nothing.
Well, we watched it live while you were talking about it, and I got to say, man, I'm more confused than ever, because I couldn't tell where some of these guys went. The main one that I was concerned with there is Cofield really didn't choose, and I don't know what that point is. It after the start-finish line or right before, or what's the deal there?
As it was said in the driving media, was as you're crossing or slightly after.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know which lane he picked, but it shows he's on the outside. No penalty has been given to him, so he must have done it exactly right. So good job by him. But, yeah, he was right in the middle. But we're getting ready to go green. You see all those waiver rounds still trying to catch up to the field as we're getting ready to take the green flag. Shane Wyatt's got the lead. Cofield knows he's got to get up there and go. He's got the speed all race long, sitting in 4th as they extended the caution. So we will not go green here. So maybe race control has some thoughts about some of the chooses there. Is the pace car going to come back out on track?
It could also be the configuration, Eddie, on this specific track. The start finish line with the open dog leg, that's a little, I'm not sure the terminology, like how low, how high, I'm not sure.
Well, all right. Well, I think that extension was just to allow the others to catch up to all those wave around, see them down on the bottom of the track on single file. Those are all drivers waved around the pace car. So we'll get ready to go green here as we have just a few laps to go. Go ahead, Dakota.
I say there is nobody on that outside line, and we got something happening back there in the back. Looks like somebody's going around.
Yeah, Cody Kinsey and a few other drivers have problems. I can't see. It looks like we're going to extend again, and we'll go back and check that out and see what's going on. But Cody Kinsey, Steven Stempian, And I think that's Christopher Bishop had some sort of issue. Go back and check that out real quick. Don't know if there was just a... Oh, man, just a pile up there is... Drivers getting into each other just... All right, though, getting ready to go green maybe this time.
Yeah, I'm just astonished that there's only 2 cars on that outside line. I figured they'd have been somebody trying to make the move to, really jump up there, but...
Well, I think these, yeah, I mean, who knows? How many of these drivers got waved around? It looks like Alex Coffey might be the first wave around. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm confused as all get out too.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. There were some wave arounds, so maybe they were forced to go to the inside.
I don't know, but green flag is out. Shane White trying to get as good a start as he can because the man that has dominated this race is now 3 wide. And boy, this is scary. He knows he's got to go. He's running out of time. He's feeling this would kind of slip away with that late race caution, but he's got to be careful as he's racing around drivers who are hungry and want to win and not going to just roll over and let him go. So he's got the first resistance that he's really had all race long. It is going to be a tough ask for Jonathan Cofield as he now is maybe going to lose a spot to Kyle Benson, who's really pushing the issue there on the inside.
Yeah, and if you're Shane White, you want to see Cofield boxed in like that and not be able to make a move on anybody. I mean, he's on an island right there, and he can't go nowhere.
Yeah, you see him out on the it's Shane White.
Shane
White spins down on the start-finish line in the lead, and that brings out our second caution of the night as your leader spins. Wow, I can't believe that. Boy, that is tough. That's tough, and we've all done it. We've all done it, been in the lead, been in a good position, and just overthink it maybe a little bit and get on it a little bit too hard, and he goes around, and boy, you know he is disappointed. Let's take a look at that replay. We kind of saw the end of it, but there it is.
Looks like he was getting loose, maybe self-spun. I don't think he had any help, but I could be wrong.
Let's take a look on board with Shane White on this replay and see exactly what happened. But I guess he just got on throttle a little bit too much. Gets on the throttle early. Yeah, it just comes, you can see. As soon as he got on the throttle, the car was going around. He knew it right away because we'll go back and look one more time and you'll see the steering wheel here.
Yeah, and that's a byproduct of, having the 4 new tires and that dynamic track conditions. Now that we are transitioning into the dark, I mean,
yeah. Look right here at the steering wheel. I mean, the steering wheel, he knew as soon as he got on the throttle.
Yeah, he's already counter steering. Yeah, he's already counter steering.
Yeah, maybe if it had still been, a little bit daylight, that'd have probably been a different outcome. But you just never know with the ever changing track conditions now.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. He just didn't know what the car was going to do on those new tires. And, of course, he had, like we talked about, he had some urgency. He needed to, to get up there and, and try to extend that lead out knowing that Cofield was coming. And dadgummit, guess what? Cofield's got the lead again. He was able to get up there and pass Charles Stevens. And Stevens had to check up for Shane as he was going around. And so now Jonathan Cofield, with all that he had going on around him, that one thing that happened, he has now re-inherited the lead, and just a great fight back for him, and obviously disappointed for Shane Wyatt. And it's going to be tough for Shane. Shane going to fall back to about the 10th position. He did come down and get 4 tires and fuel, but only 9 laps on these tires. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. It's going to be tough for Shane to get back up towards the front for sure. This seems to be one of those tracks, one of this style of racing where track position is just too important, and losing it like that, that's a tough way. But he's still, like Dakota said, got a lot of fight. You don't, just because you can't win the race don't mean you give up. I mean, we saw that at Carson Hocevar. When he wrecked, I believe, Corey Haim there in the truck championship here at Phoenix. just kind of gave up after that, you know. And you can't do that, Dakota. You can't give up. You got a lot of people watching. You got a lot of things on the line, and you know right now he's back in 10th, but I guarantee he ain't gonna give up.
Yeah, and that's
we have a. Sorry, go ahead, Dakota.
but that's probably one of the biggest opponents of any race car driver is their own mind. I mean, if you count yourself out, you might as well just park it. If you're gonna be like if you're like Shane, you just like I said, just keep your head down and hammer down, bud.
And we know the way these races can go at the end of these things, so we may see more and more cautions similar to what we saw last week. Very clean race up to the very end, and then it got all hell broke loose. I mean, even some suspensions came out of it. So,
well, we have a much more balanced inside-outside line now.
green flag back in the air. Cofield with a great jump, and everybody a collective as he is. He has been just unbelievable. He's going to look to set sail. That 58 machine is rock solid. It's been, he's got those special tires on, I think, matched, staggered special, matched perfect, whatever he said. And he is already pulling away. Now Charles Stevens under fire from Eric Schaefer. He's looking down to the inside. You got Kyle. Oh, my goodness. I thought 9 of Charles Stevens getting a little bit loose there. He is digging hard trying to hang on to that second spot. Schaefer down to the inside. Kyle Benson in that 70 trying to get a run off the top side. He does. He's going to get to the outside of Schaefer. Oh, Charles Stevens with a big block. Oh, Lord. Into turn 1. Boy, he's going to pay for it. He almost goes up. He does kind of grab the wall a little bit. I mean, Charles with a very aggressive block. Oh, and caution's out. Caution is out. I'm not really sure what for. Was it Matthew Jorgensen? I think it might have been. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened.
Yeah, he was in the wall, but he kept it going straight, so I'm not sure either, boss.
Go back and see if we can try to find it. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. He gets really loose, overcorrects it into the wall. And that was enough for race control to throw the caution. That was a pretty hard hit there. Let's go back and check that out one more time. Working to the outside of the 18 here of Blaine Wilson. Gets a little bit of that wall, makes a little bit of contact with the 18. We'll see as it goes down to the corner, just really drives it deep into the corner here. Same thing with Shane Wyatt. You see he tries to catch it and actually does a really good job. I mean, that could have been way, way worse. And, you see a little bit more activities going on as Parker was spinning down. What happened to him?
Parker always likes to make things interesting.
Parker's like, you're not going to spin without me. But go see what happened. That's exactly the same thing.
Hey, I want that highlight reel.
Yeah.
Man, that's so right
go there.
Well, you know, Dakota, you know why they call it Xbox 360?
Why is that?
Because when you see it, you do a 360 and you walk away. And that's exactly what Parker Bland did. And going to fall back to 17th right around Jorgensen, but yet another caution. Now, no big issues there. I think that was just some guys on new tires that just weren't quite ready. It was the same thing that happened to Shane there, and I think Chuck's right about the track changing. You know, that may be something that is affecting the way these cars drive, especially up off the bottom. That has been sort of a nervous feel in the last couple restarts. So.
Well, Eddie, it did drop from 83 to 80, and I know our views may be like, well, it's only 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, 3 degrees Fahrenheit on a racetrack, even a simulated racetrack, that is a big difference grip level on these tires. Oh, Charlie Stevens still hanging on at number 2.
Yeah. Well, and he, you know what, I was super impressed. You know, he's throwing blocks, being aggressive, and you kind of think, oh, that's not good. You know, even I'm sitting up here in the booth going, ooh, that's got to be bad. But you know, when you get up towards the front in series like this, I mean, the Sunoco series, this series, other series like them, when you get up front, if you give an inch, the guy's going to take it. I mean, and it just is what it is. So, you kind of say, well, don't be so aggressive. But here at the end, 15 laps to go, I mean, you've got to be. You've got to be. And if you get punted, so be it. But you've got to fight, because if you roll over and let somebody take the position, I mean, it could be 2 or 3 spots that you lose, how close these guys are. So Charles doesn't have the opportunity to really, as we see the choose here, and I think maybe my camera is just a little bit too close for this particular choose. We'll back it up just a little bit. You can see where everybody chooses. Kind of hard to see this time around with the way the rule is now, but
Well, what do you do if you're Charlie, Eddie? Do you go behind the 58 and then go even lower on the dog leg, or do you stay on the outside? What do you do?
well, I think Charlie needs to just try to get a good restart here, try to time it where he can get he can get alongside the 58, and I think you stay up on the track, and I think you just try to maintain that outside line the best you can and get the run off the corner, especially off of 1 to 2. So I think the big thing in here right now, right into the restart zone, is you got to get a good start, because Cofield's going to be gone. See, about half a car length back. It's not going to help you win this race. Cofield gets a good jump, and actually Stevens does get a great jump. Pretty good. He's going to drive down to the dog leg. He's got all that real estate he can use. As, man, look at this cluster. You know what? With Alex Coffey looking down to the inside as the 18 of Blaine Wilson almost makes contact with Jesse Necula, who is up in the top 5, and they're 3 wide coming off the corner. Can they make it work? No. Coffey going to fall back behind the 70 of Kyle Benson. And Coffey going to dive down to the inside right in front of Necula, and he's going to do a twofer. Coming off of turn 4, Alex Coffey has now entered the conversation once more, as he is going to the inside now of Kyle Benson for 4th, as Kyle's really fighting hard. And now Schaefer way up the track, trying to get the run off the corner, as Cofield's starting to slip away a little bit. Charles Stevens defending, but here comes Eric Schaefer on the outside. Charles going to dive down to the bottom, try to make that car work. We've seen that outside be really strong here. Here comes Schaefer. What's he going to do? Oh, Kyle Benson's in the wall a little bit, makes a little bit of contact, but able to get off of it as he continues to battle side by side. But the battle now for second is underway. Charles has been doing a great job, but Eric Schaefer able to get to the outside, and he is going to have the preferred line, and Charles Stevens going to have to fall back to 3rd. Still a great battle back here for this is 4th position. Alex Coffey really trying to dispatch Kyle Benson here, but here comes Jesse Necula saying, well, if y'all ain't going to do it, I will make something happen. Goes down, makes it 3 wide. Coffey has to think about it, slides up the track. Necula not able to hold it down on the bottom. Actually going to slide up. Necula.
What a save.
I can't click him. He's falling down too fast. What a great effort hanging on to it. Going to fall back through the field as we go back up towards the front. Now, Charles Stevens not able to hold on to that spot, but fighting back, trying to get back to Eric Schaefer. All the while, Jonathan Cofield is continuing to pull away a 10th every single lap. He's now up to 6/10 there. Charles Stevens continues to defend on board with Kyle Benson.
Under 10 to go. Under 10 to go.
And there's going to be a real good run right here.
See how hard Charlie is driving into the corner, and in days past I've seen that be a detriment, and Kyle actually gets a great run off the corner, but he's got Alex Coffey all over his tail, well, not tailgate, but all his rear bumper. All right, here goes. Kyle Benson gets a run down the back straightaway, front straightaway, I don't know. Into turn 3 and 4. He's on the inside. Charlie going to fight, though. Alex Coffey loving to see this. He's got all the options in the world.
That was just spin, got to spin. The 99 spun around. 99 spun around.
So Jesse Necula spins it out again. Obviously, some those tires like basketballs after that first slide, and it did not want to grip up. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to him real quick. When you get a slide like that, you sure do get a little bit mad, and you drive a little madder. You push that throttle a little bit harder. You gotta grit your teeth. Oh, you got some help.
Yeah, it looks like the 42 of Barry Knapp might have got into him right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, Georgie comes in, gets a little taste of it. Let's go on board with Barry Knapp. Oh, just overcooks the corner, and gets into the 99. Then Georgie, oh man, woo. All right, well, Cofield thought he had this thing in the books a couple times. What do you do here, guys? 26 laps on those tires. Do you come down pit road? That's the question I have for you right now.
I think I'd risk it. I'd come down and get fresh ones because you don't know how many green white checkers you're going to get.
At what point? If you're the leader or 5 back, 10 back, 15 back, what's your window on taking tires and staying out?
Well, Chuck, I don't know. I'm asking you. Tell me what you going to do.
I don't know, man. You're the alien. I'm not. I figure if I'm top 3, I'm thinking no. But again, monkey see, monkey don't do. You know the same monkey see, monkey do. But if you're the top 2 or 3 and you stay out, everybody else is going down. You're sitting ducks. If you go in, everybody else stays out. You're still sitting ducks because you can't get back to the field. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, it looks like Blaine Wilson, Josh Lurkovitz, Christopher Bishop, and of course Jesse Necula, the only ones aside to come down pit road. Blaine Wilson running up inside the top 10 gives up that track position, so he'll be kind of our, it'll be the metric that we grade that decision by. He'll be the one that has the freshest tires, but we talked about the fall off during the run. These 60-lap tires only a second off. How much is he going to be able to make up? That's kind of the big question at the moment. But I don't think we're done with cautions here, but we're not on a green-white checker just yet. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're coming to the choose this time. I haven't gotten a call from race control to let me know. Back up the camera real quick just to make sure that we get it.
Eddie, you asked me, but what would you have done in this situation, boss man?
I would have stayed out. So I would have definitely stayed out. I think the fall off is too little, and I don't think you're gonna have enough time to really make it up.
To make the fresh ones work.
Yep. All right, I think we're going to come to the choose this time. Still waiting on race control. No call, but we'll see if they decide to do it here. And, yep. They're making their moves at the line. You can see a lot of guys going to the top side. So, interesting call to see that. I see a lot of folks going to the top.
I wonder if those are guys that did not take tires, so it's less of an arc grip level. Does that make sense? It's a longer way around the track, but it's not as sharp of a turn. So on old tires, maybe taking the wider way around. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Getting ready to go green here. Jonathan Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag. And I'm going to tell you right now, the way I'm looking at it, the way that they did that, Blaine Wilson's going to end up 11th after that with those fresh tires. So he's one of those drivers that went down to the bottom and was able to make up probably 6 spots there. So, I mean, great call by him, I'd say. Let's see what Eric Schaefer can do. 58 goes into the restart zone, and they're piling up behind him. Coffee goes around as Kyle Benson gets plowed, and we got a big wreck on the front straightaway. Lots of drivers involved.
Around.
And we kind of saw that coming. Sorry, go ahead, Dakota.
It It looks like somebody might have spun their tires right there, and the one behind them, you know, they had all the traction.
Yeah, it looks like it started maybe with the 70 of Kyle Benson. We'll see. Give you the chase cam so you can really see what happened here. Yeah, you're going to see Eric Schaefer trying to jump the start. Trying to time it, and he goes a little bit early. You see that right there? He just goes a little bit too early and then has to check up. And when he does, these guys, I mean, they're hungry. They're ready to go, and they don't have time to be waiting around. And unfortunately for Coffee, he gets the worst of it. And maybe, oh my goodness, who was that? Was that Shade? That was Shade. Watch this. Oh, he gets into somebody too. Oh, that's where that, I guess that's where that came from. Is he got into the back of the 8 of Cody Kinsey.
Yeah, that tire spin up front just did the accordion effect throughout the whole field. We won't mention names, but they were talking about it during the driver's chat. And
well, I don't think
tire spin.
I don't think it was tire spin, Chuck. I think if we'll watch it in full speed here, Eric Schaefer here, he's gonna jump the restart, trying to time it, and he has to lift. And when he does, that checks up that whole top line. See, he got. And you could be right, I could be wrong. It's hard to say. But from my point of view, it looks like Schaefer jumped it right here and then has to check up. And when he does, all hell breaks loose behind him.
That's a good assessment of what you're showing. I was just telling you what I heard on the live channel. But that's a good observation, Eddie.
All right, well, our first green-white checkered of the night.
Say Shane White's back up to the 5th position. He's actually got the freshest tires other than the 18 of Blaine Wilson, so he might have a little something for him right here.
I think you're right. Well,
Charlie Stevens still hanging in 3rd.
Yep. Here we go. First attempt at a green-white checker. A lot of gap from the first row back to the second. Trying to lay back just a little bit. They tighten up now. Cofield going to get a great jump. And now Huffman goes around it. Wyatt gets turned as Huffman ends up on his roof. And caution back out. My goodness. And Steven Stimpian looks like he is backwards. The 18 backwards. And
the
Huffman,
broadcaster curse is real.
Yeah, I mean, Huffman was definitely looking like he was not happy with somebody. Let's go take a look at the replay. Like the 81 of Steven Stimpian behind him. Ofield's going to go in the box. And, yeah, the two just doesn't really get going. And Shane Wyatt, just an unfortunate bystander in that whole thing, unfortunately. On board with Steven Stimpian, we can see what happened.
Steven it just had complete integrity. He admitted he was as bad on the broadcast, or not broadcast, but in race comms. It's a mistake on his part.
We'll watch on board with Shane White as he just gets right hooked here. I mean, just, it didn't even involve him at all. So frustrating. Well, all right. Don't know if we've already choose, but you hear some fuel saving going on here, boys. I don't know if that's necessary, but, I mean, if they auto-fueled and we go all 3 green-white checkers, these guys may not have enough fuel.
I think they will. It was 83 laps for a tank, so If they refilled one time, they should be good. Should is the key word, Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, if they use the auto fuel though, where they fueled it right to the end of the race, it may only be enough fuel to make it to the end. So we'd be interested to see what they decided to do here as we watch. I think the choose here, see where everybody goes.
Yeah, we got a new player up in the top 5. You got the 3 of Parker Bland.
How about that, bubble driver?
Eddie, that's a good point as far as the auto fuel, the black box thing. I don't use that, so I forget about it. I don't use that. I delete that. So I was thinking actual manual filling, but that's
Look
a
here.
good point.
Look here, Chuck, at the point standings. Parker Bland up in the top 5. Look what that would do.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, that could be a race or a playoff winning move at least and be able to fight for a championship. So that's a great call there, Dakota, on that deal. But here we go. We got a race win to see. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, that 18, another caution. We might be talking about him. He's got the freshest tires out of anybody up here. But I still think it's going to be between Cofield into the Geico restart zone. Sheriff actually disappears. And I don't know if he got a great jump because of that blink. Parker
Bland shot out of a rocket right there.
Down on the inside, but Charles Stevens going to move up and battle Schaefer there on the inside. We'll almost make contact. Will we get the white flag? They are all over the track back here. Got Parker, Steven Stempien, Blaine Wilson, excuse me. Oh, and somebody is wrecking.
Did we get the white?
No, we didn't. We didn't. Christopher Bishop goes around. Looks like Richard Swavely, who we haven't really talked about here tonight, in that 32 machine, goes around there on that one. So we did not make it to the white flag. If we can go back and see what happened here. As I think Swavely having some issues with some internet connection problems. See if we can go back and see what happened here between the 14 there and you got the 79 of, man, what a great camera angle. Definitely see what's going on. Oh, and the 14 just turns right down on Josh Lokovitz. Oh, my God, a hard hit for Coffee. See right here. It honestly looked like that that the 14 didn't even know he was there. Lokovitz with a big run there. I think the 14 was just watching the 8 of Cody Kinsey get into the wall. My God, what a hit by Alex Coffey.
Yeah, poor Josh. He's just minding his own business going around, and 14 comes down on him. I don't think the 14 knew that he was there.
Yeah, I think the 14 saw the 8 having issues. Watch this on board. Wow. Big hit. But I think the 14 saw what was going on in front of him. You'll see right here, and you'll see that red 8 machine. And he's going to get loose and start to wreck, and I think his eyes were up front and was just trying to move down to avoid it. You can see right there, he kind of comes down, and like you said, just didn't know he was there. And Schwavely, innocent bystander in that whole ordeal. All right, well, this is it, boys. Last green-white checkered. Cofield has made it through everyone so far, but still got to do one more time. He's been getting good jumps in the box. Just got to do it again.
Yeah, this is going to be the rough one to get through because guys know that this is it, so they might play a little bit rough right here.
Yeah, we got Eric Schaefer that moved up to number 2. Charlie Stevens still holding number 3, and Benson and Stempien rounding out your top 5, man. These guys are some hungry guys. Parker Bland just outside the top 5. Look at him, still hanging tough, like you said. Always just sort of peeking in there, Eddie.
That's right. All right, we'll see if this is the choose here. Yep, it is the choose. Ooh, got some guys going to the outside. Ooh, some interesting calls there. So there you have it. Jonathan Cofield, Eric Schaefer will again be on the front row. Kyle Benson, Charles Stevens on row number 2. And Parker and Steven Stimpian, row number 3. You know, Eric Schaefer did not get a great jump last time. He blinked out a little bit. The time before kind of was the catalyst for the incident, but can he get a good jump this time? I think you got to try to jump the start here. And you know Cofield's going to try to go in the box. I would just try, and if I get a black flag, I get a black flag. I don't even care. If somebody's wrecking back behind here, Alex Coffey.
Lights are back on the pace car.
Lights are back on the pace car, and Coffey. Oh, engine just blew on the 11. He pulled off the track, so all good there. So those fuel concerns continue to be something to think about, maybe. If anybody used an auto fuel and get an extra lap here, that's got to be tough for the fuel situation if anybody is close. Here we go. Pace car going to pull off. All right, here we go. Last attempt. No matter what happens here, the race is over if we have another caution. And if they take the white flag, they'll race it all the way around. Who is going to get the victory? Cofield has been lights out all night long into the Geico restart zone. Going to get a pretty dang good jump there. And he's going to be all by himself as they spread out 3 wide down into the dog leg. 3 wide for second. Schaefer is in the right line, I believe. He should get the run off the corner. And he does, so he'll take over second. Charlie losing a spot to Kyle Benson as they go down into turn 3 and 4. And white flag is out for Jonathan Cofield. 1 more to go, but here comes Schaefer. Got a little charge here. Can he make something happen? Will we see a Hail Melon? That's what I want to see. Sender. That's what I say. Go send it, Eric. You can hear me.
And the real race right here is for the 3rd position. This is going to be heads up here at the line.
Down into the corner, Schaefer does a lunge, but not quite able to do it. Banging doors here at the line, and Stevens is going to wreck it across the line.
He gave her all she had, though.
Gave her all she had, and comes home in 4th. Still a great finish for him.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Cofield, though, what a dominating performance. 88 out of 100 laps led, and he will get to celebrate here on the front stretch and kind of plant his flag here at the start of the playoffs.
Yeah, he's actually going to be the regular season champion with that too, so he's got the 5 extra bonus points going into the playoffs.
You're right. That's a good point.
And I think, if my math's right, I think the 3 of Parker Bland is going to be in the playoffs as well by jumping Christopher Bishop.
Man, that is good. We'll wait on official word, and we'll actually going to take a little commercial break, and we'll come back in just a moment, and we will try to get you those interviews, but also we'll try to get you the actual playoff field officially from Race Control, and we'll see who does make it in the playoffs, but I believe you are absolutely right. Let's take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Let's meet the supply chain technology lineup. Coil machines, a powerful combination of access, control, and traceability. Sensor devices, take what you need. The device reports who, what, and how much. Multi-use lockers, vend bulk items, manage assets, and pick up orders. And electronic bins, avoid stockouts with 24/7 inventory monitoring. The key to the game, a local blue team to keep your supply chain moving full speed ahead. Fastenal, where industry meets innovation.
All right, coming back, and boy, what an exciting race. There was a lot of stuff going on there, and we had an incredible finish. Yeah, I mean, another great race here in the MPI, or the Fastenal Winter Series, excuse me. Well, we do have the official results, so we'll tell you. We can't put it up on the screen, but we can tell you. Jonathan Cofield will take the regular season championship, and Eric Schaefer going to be second. Charles Stevens Jr. going to be third. Craig Lautenschlager going to come out of that fourth. Shane White, after a tough evening, going to come away with the fifth position. Alex Coffey in sixth. Kyle Benson seventh. Stephen Harlow in eighth. Johnny Shade tied with him. Adam Lancaster in 10th. Matthew Jorgensen 11th. Timothy Stubblefield in 12th. Alex Huffman barely scrapes by, comes away with a 13th. Parker Bland with that 7th place finish gets into the playoffs in that 14th spot. And Cody Kinsey going to jump up and take the final 15th spot. And Christian Bishop going to be the first one out. Blaine Wilson, second one. Barry Knapp and Josh Lokovitz. So tough deal for those guys. They're going to barely miss the playoffs, but still great seasons for all of those, and a great way to finish up. But yeah, a couple drivers, Parker Bland, Cody Kinsey, making their statement saying that, hey, we're here to race for a championship, so they're going to have that opportunity. But yeah, let's talk to some drivers though. We got to talk to these winners, and heck, we're going to start with Jonathan Cofield. Cofield, we got you in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Well, you are the winner here tonight. You dominated the race for the most part. And, yeah, I mean, I wish – I don't know if you know what you were doing that was so much better than everybody else, because you never really saw anybody till there when you got put back in like 4th or 5th after that pit cycle. But man, just a dominant performance. First off, congratulations on being the regular season champion. Those 5 bonus points will go a long way, but tonight, 88 out of 100. I don't know, Cofield, what do we do? What are we doing here? We turning up the gas early, or what's going on? How were you that much better than the field tonight?
Hell yeah, we're turning it up. I don't know. Trying to save my tires, trying to enter that dog leg kind of slow. I was braking before the 2-cone, trying to get it woed up. I don't know. I was worried about Coffee and all them guys, that, especially the 18, that qualified ahead of me. They're real fast, but I got by them within them first few laps and started pulling off. I was like, well, hell, this right here's gonna be all right.
Well, I mean, you had it in the bag. I mean, you were pulling away, and there was a point in time we showed you on the broadcast, and it was almost like you were doing a qualifying lap because there's nobody around. I mean, all it was just your car, and that was it. I mean, it's got to feel really good to come out and execute like that. Come out and you know these guys are fast. You know these guys can win races. Yep. You definitely, while you're good, you would probably say you're right there with a lot of guys. But tonight, it was just when you come out and you elevate yourself that much better, especially in a fixed setup. I mean, it's got to feel really good to come out and just lay a whooping on them. Looking forward into the playoffs, we got some time off. How do you keep the momentum going? That's always tough to do with a lot of time off. And then we're going to swap vehicles, go into the trucks. How do you keep that momentum going forward as we move into another vehicle and into another year?
Yeah, I think getting in these fendered vehicles, kind of suits me. I had a lot of trouble in the short track stuff, which I'm not really a short track racer. I can do decent in the fendered stuff on short tracks, Richmond, Iowa, stuff like that. But those tour mods, and I never could get a handle on them. Trucks, I feel pretty confident in trucks. Don't know about Knoxville dirt. I think I don't know who's the dirt guy in here, but I'm sure we'll find out. Really excited. I finally got an MPI win, man. It means a lot to be here with these guys. It means a lot to have the Sunoco guys in here and how they kind of watch over us and see our skill levels. So I'm in a good place right now. I just want to try to do my best and not cause any problems.
Well, I mean, tell me a little bit about when you, when you made that pit stop and you were waiting on the other guys and that caution came out. You had a pretty good starting spot after that choose. You got to start second row on the outside, but you kind of got bottled up there for a while. Were you just trying to be patient, knowing that you were that much faster, or were you really getting bottled up and trying to almost kind of getting a little bit nervous and trying to get out of that situation before Shane Wyatt spun there?
Yeah, I was just trying to bide my time, let everybody get spread out. I know when everybody got all close and tight, we kind of bump a little bit, but yeah, I hate the Shane spun right there, but yeah, just trying to let everybody get spread out and try to pick them off one at a time. I knew I was saving tires better than everybody because 2 or 3 of those guys could hold on with me until we really got some laps on the tires, and I could pull them a little bit each lap. So.
Well, that you did, and you were still able to get out front. You had to weather the storm of all 3 of the green, white, and checkered. You're able to do that, come away with the victory. Man, congratulations on that win. Got to feel good to win one like this. So definitely go celebrate tonight. And man, tell us who you got to thank. Any sponsor shout outs?
Oh yeah, definitely you and Chuck and anybody else that's in the booth with you. VSRN, the awesome job you do. Fastenal, MPI, Martin Sports, SM Racing Products, Sim Shop, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, all my teammates at Big Fish Motorsports. Let's go see if we can win these playoffs.
All right, well, there you have it. Your winner, Jonathan Cofield, as he takes a dominant performance at Phoenix and takes home the victory. And I think, Chuck, you're caught up with second place Eric Schaefer.
Hello, Eric. Chuck up in the booth with Eddie and Dakota. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Doing well. Well, I got to tell you, no disrespect, I was watching Jonathan Cofield, as we all were tonight, just like going to town on the field for the most part of it. And then out of nowhere, I see you and Kyle and Charlie fighting there at the end. Take me through those last couple of green white checkers. I mean, your lane choice or your choice of driving, corner entry, etc. Let me have it, sir.
I don't know, man. Lane choice was hard to pick tonight. The inside on lane choice was just so easy because you got the apron to use and go down towards the wall. The outside, you didn't have that option unless you pinch the guy down. But no, man, the last couple laps were fun there racing until we got those session of cautions. But all in all, it was a good night. Me and Benson were in chat together talking about we had nothing for Cofield. He was just a freak in that car tonight. So I don't know how the man was doing it. Typically, I'm halfway decent at Phoenix, and he whooped my butt tonight. So I got some work to go do before we go back in the trucks to get a little bit better at the truck because I have not ran a truck in a while. So
Yeah, we got what's it, 2.5 weeks? I think January 9th, something like that ish. Don't quote me on that. So you got a break there for the holidays, and happy early Christmas to you and your family and New Year's. But yeah, what a heck of a finish. Any shout outs and sponsors or people you would like to thank?
yeah, shout out to all you guys for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, shout out to MPI for having me. Enjoy being in here racing with everybody, man. It's good talent in here. Like Cofield said, it's nice to have all the Sunoco guys in here watching out and checking on us and making sure we're behaving and everything and having a good time with us. But now I want to thank the DBR guys, everything they do, Reaper Speed Labs, everything they do. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate it.
Very welcome, sir, and good finish.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that was your second place finisher, Eric Schaefer. And we got to finally talk to Kyle Benson, been real patient, and I think Dakota is caught up with him.
Yeah, Kyle Benson is Dakota and the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was kind of up and down night for you, but you find yourself with a podium position at the end of everything. So, kind of unpack how you're feeling with tonight's performance.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like I could have done maybe a little better. I don't know. It was weird. I haven't ran the ARCA car at Phoenix in a minute, so it's just kind of like working myself back into it. But I think overall I had a good night. Had a bit of a misstep on that restart. Brought myself back to like sixth, and everybody wrecked in front of me. It brought me back up to fourth. So overall, it wasn't a bad race. Was kind of battling for second best car. Cofield had us checked out all night. I didn't have anything for him. It was definitely one of those where you just try to get as much as you can. Track position was pretty big, but overall, I think good night for me. I haven't had a good night in a while, but good to pull them together.
Yeah, and I think you're going to be seated somewhere, in the middle part of the playoff field. So kind of talk to us about your expectations going into the Truck Series and into the playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. Got two wild card. Well, pretty much the whole Truck Series is kind of more of a wild card with Knoxville, Michigan, and Daytona in there. Look forward to Knoxville. I like Knoxville. I'm a big dirt guy. Um, I'm excited for Daytona. I like Daytona, and Michigan's kind of iffy for me. But I'm okay in the trucks. I think just putting races together is just my biggest thing right now. I haven't been doing that recently, and it's kind of put me down here. And running the short track cars with the modified and the late model really didn't help me out either. I had a bad start of the year, so hopefully we can just put it together and have a chance at the end for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned Knoxville. You said you're a dirt guy. I'm a dirt guy, and I'm actually going to be in that field. So you've kind of been the one that I've watched pretty close, and it's going to be exciting to get out there and beat doors with you on the dirt. And I look forward to it. If you want to go ahead and plug any sponsors or help you may have.
Yeah, I like to see you on the track. Maybe it'll be fun. But just gotta thank the guys over at Mario Rudy. Definitely some good people over there. Chris Bishop and Craig Lautenslager. We're hoofing it this year. The three guys this year. Kind of want to get some more, but had some help with Schaefer tonight. Was running with him, and thank you guys for having me. For Fastenal and all those guys. Thank you ProGar for putting up with me, and I didn't get any well this week, so that's a first. But you guys for a well of a broadcast, and I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race from you. We'll let you go debrief with your team, and we'll see you when we get back racing in the truck portion of the series.
All right, thank you, boys. Have a big Christmas, Chris.
Good night.
Too, brother. There you have it. That's our field for tonight, and just a wild finish to a pretty fantastic race. And I mean, just like I said, just another feather in our cap of just an amazing racing here in this series. It's been just a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the results here. We will take just a few minutes to see that. We'll jump back to the actual top 10. Jonathan Cofield, Eric Schaefer, Kyle Benson, and then a great finish by Charles Stevens Jr. Steven Stippian with that top 5. Barry Knapp in the 6th position. Parker Bland in 7th. Blaine Wilson in 8th. Craig Lautenschlager in the 9th position. Jesse Necula, who was spinning out all over the place, able to come back for a top 10 finish. So great recovery for him. Cody Kinsey comes home in 11th, able to get into the playoffs. So that's cool to see that happening. Johnny Shea in that 12th position. Matthew Jorgensen in 13th. Richard Swavely in 14th. Josh Lurkovitz 15th. Timothy Stubblefield in 16th. 17th, Christopher Bishop. Shane Wyatt disappointed for sure, and I think we're all kind of disappointed at just the way his race turned out. He recovered from one big that little self spin, and then it just never actually got up into the top 5 and then got right hooked into the wall. So frustrating for sure. Alex Coffey in the 19th and Alex Huffman there in 20th. What a stacked final 3. But they'll be playoff racing, so can't have those mistakes in the next round, though. That's for sure. All right, well, that's it for us tonight. Want to thank our sponsors, Fastenal, for their sponsorship of this winter series, Simrap Market, MPI, and Martin Sports. Want to thank boys in the booth tonight. I'm Eddie Smith, Dakota, anybody else, Wilson, in the booth, slinging that knowledge, and then Chuck Phelps hitting us with all that great analysis. Couldn't do it without them. They're a fantastic bunch, and they've been two guys I can count on almost every week, and so definitely appreciate everything that y'all do. Final thoughts about this race as we get ready to head on into the holidays, the Christmas holidays, and New Year. Going to come back and race some trucks. What do y'all think?
Well, first and foremost, to you, Eddie, Dakota, and all our sim racing friends and viewers, happy early Christmas and early New Year's. Blessings to all of you. And let's get a reset, all of us. Let's get a reset and come back and get it on. I mean, let's get some good hardcore racing. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks for all the viewers that, come in and watch us every week do this. And, the drivers, the admin team, even you, Eddie. Sometimes I get to watching these, go back and watch these broadcasts, and, sometimes I forget that, it's a video game or a simulation with as good as your graphics look. I mean, you really knock this stuff out of the park, and it feels like real life sometimes. So, huge shout out to you for that, and just everyone who makes the wheels turn on this thing.
Yeah,
I agree. Likewise. Thank you, Eddie.
Absolutely. You're very welcome, and thank y'all for the kind words. Definitely want to thank Chris Progar, who's done all of the legwork for this winter series and put a lot of work into making this thing happen. But we're not done yet. We got some races left. It's not like we're singing swan songs around here, but we're not done. We're going into the holidays. We're going to celebrate a little bit of Christmas with our families, loved ones, friends, whatever. Your stuffed animals, whatever you're spending your Christmas with, and then come back. And then on January 9th, we're going to hit Michigan, Knoxville, Daytona. I like the way that Kyle Benson said this is going to be a wild card. I mean, we've got all these drivers that have been dominant all season long, but how are they going to deal with this round? Michigan in the trucks, which is just like a draft track. Knoxville kind of throws a whole wrench in the thing with the dirt. Definitely takes a different type of skill set than Daytona. I mean, this is just like NASCAR, where you get to that 8th round and, hey, it could be anybody that makes it into the next one. So that championship round, honestly, could be a whole mix of folks. And I don't think that there's anybody that is guaranteed after that truck round. So it's going to be a wild one, and definitely one to be checking out. What you got there, Chuck?
Just going to say, as you announced the schedule, Mr. Smith, look at that last race, February 6th. Old, let me emphasize that, old Atlanta, not the new Atlanta. That's old Atlanta. That's a whole old school animal right there, boys.
Yeah, we'll be hanging it out up there at the top line, hopefully, and all over that track. So February 6th will be the championship round. It's going to be a good one. So y'all come on back and check all of that out. It's going to be fun. Definitely appreciate all of y'all watching, all the sponsors, and we will see y'all at the first of the year. Y'all have a Merry Christmas from my family to yours, and I hope that everybody gets what they want from Santa Claus. So y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.
Cheers, y'all.